Casey, where do I start when I want to build my home?
Well, you open up your laptop or your tablet or whatever it may be, and you type in www.theconsciousbuilder.com and you start there. Now, that, it's always what comes first, the chicken or the egg. So what happens is one of two things that normally happen is somebody comes to us with a set of plans and says, how much is it going to cost to build this house? Or somebody comes to us and says, how much is it going to cost to build a house that has uh, 3 bedrooms, it's 2,000 square feet, yada, yada, yada. And they give me all the credentials, which is really hard to do at that point too, because there's so many variables. Ultimately, what you want to do is find an architect or designer that you get along with, that you work well with, and then find your contractor that you get along with and you work well with, and bring them together, and then you start working together. And if you're building a home to a higher standard, you'll also have an energy consultant in there as well, because the designer or the architect needs to design a home so that suits your needs in terms of the layout and what you're looking for, but also looks good. The energy advisor needs to tell us what's going to work in terms of best performance, in terms of the wall assembly, the position of the house, placement of windows, and so forth, and it all needs to look good and yada, yada, yada. And then the contractor needs to make sure that it's built in a way and designed in a way that's going to fit within your budget, whatever your budget is. So what happens is that people normally don't want to give up their budget too early because they're afraid that the contractor is going to max that out or whatever it may be. But the reality is we need to work within your budget. So if you come to me and say, hey, Casey, I want to build a 4 bedroom house to our 2000 standards, and I want to do, my kitchen's going to have a 10-foot island, and it's going to have 3.5 bathrooms, and yada, 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 and my budget's, I don't want to tell you my budget right now. I'm going to say, okay, well, that will probably cost you X amount, whatever it may be. But even that I don't like to do because there's so many variables. And so I could put something together for you that's really preliminary if there's no plans, and it could come in at $1 million. You could say, oh, well, my budget was only 500,000. Then I would say, well, I could have told you that we couldn't work with that right from the beginning, just to give you an idea. So it's the same way. So if you want to go for a vacation, what do? You budget for it, right? So you say, I have $5,000 to spend on my vacation. You plan a vacation within that $5,000 that meets your needs. When it comes to building and renovating your home, it's the same thing. I have $100,000 to renovate my home. So we need to see what we can do to work within that $100,000. And the reason why I say there's so many variables is if you think about this from a standpoint where you have a house that's 2,000 square feet, built to minimum building code, with carpet, vinyl siding, cheapest double glazed windows you can get, cheap 25-year shingles, unfinished basement, yada, 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 all those things. That price is going to be very different than a 2,000 square foot home that has masonry on the exterior, that has a steel roof, that is built to passive house standards, has $150,000 kitchen, 4.5 bathrooms, sort of thing. You get the point. Same square footage, a lot more packed into that same square footage. So we need to work within whatever you have. So that's a long answer to, where do I start? But at the end of the day, if you can bring all of your team players to the beginning, then that's going to be what we call an IDP, which is an integrated design process. You're going to be able to get what you're looking for within the budget that you're looking for, performing as good or even better than what you're looking for. So find the people you trust, check them out, bring them together as soon as possible. If you're finding reputable people, they're not going to just their reputation's on the line too, right? So they're going to want to make sure that they're acting in your best interest, because that's how this industry is built.